The Louis Bellina Show, lunchtime, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue, home of the green chili stew, ribs, moist brisket, and more. The Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. And, Thursday's lunchtime means, Cedric Golden of the Austin American-Statesman. Cedric, I miss you, brother. How you doing?
Man, I'm great. What's up, bro?
Not much. There's so much going on in the world of sports. It's weird. It almost doesn't feel like it's spring. It feels like a fall in a certain way. You, last weekend, had one of the craziest weekends. You go from a spring game to hanging out at that was 2 weekends ago. Did I talk to you last weekend? Last week? I feel like
No.
I didn't. You were gone, right?
I was gone. Yeah, we had the spring game was Saturday, this past Saturday.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't get to talk to you about spending like 20 hours at Bluebell Olson and then the Longhorn spring game. Let's go back to Bluebell Olson. You were here in town. You were at the park for 20 hours, right?
I was at the park for that one day on Sunday, and it never came to pass. And we watched the Masters on the big screen at Bluebell Olson, and watched the Aggie softball team win in Mississippi. That rain delay was so long, Lou, that we watched the Aggie softball team win in Mississippi, and by the time the game was called, the team had traveled back from Mississippi, and a lot of the players showed up at the baseball park.
Yeah, I remember catching that, and there's something bizarre when you think about it. They woke up, like 4 hours before the game in another state. They got to the stadium there, played the game, and they didn't rush to the plane. You got to get on the plane, fly back, disembark, everything that means. And then got to the stadium, Bluebell Olson, and hung out to see if the game happened. That's insane, actually. So, okay, what do you do stop yourself from going insane, sitting in a tiny old press box for 8 hours, whatever the heck it ends up being?
Who said I didn't go insane? I think I did, Lou. I think I did. But we ate, we visited. The crew that covers the Aggies, fun guys. So I got to visit with Cease and Alex Miller and Tony Catalina, and Kirk Bowles was there, and so we had a fun time. David Eckert from 24/7, my former colleague, was there. So we had fun. We had burger. We ate twice. I know some of the kids. I know David Eckert, I think, and maybe Tony C. They went for tacos. They went and got tacos at a place, Fiorello's or somewhere like that. I can't remember the name of it, but they went and got tacos and came back. And so you do what you have to do. It was cool that the Masters final round was on, so it was cool to watch that. And Elko was there, and they were chanting at Elko, and finally he got up and went into a suite, and I think he eventually left. So there was a lot of stuff going on. We counted the trains that came through during the delay. 8 trains rolled past on Wellborn. That's how bored we were.
So the series itself, highly anticipated, and the crowds were insane, on fire. The games, that Friday night game, thought it was done. Longhorns tried to rally, not so much. Weather Saturday, delayed, stop, start, 8-run first. And in the end, the Aggies got the sweep. I would say shockingly so. I don't think that's an unfair statement, but still 2-0.
I wouldn't say shockingly so. I mean, Aggies are really good. Aggies at home are really, really good. And they have Sorrell and Grahovac, one of the best 1-2 offensive duos in America. And when those guys are on one, they are a tough out. And so that Friday night game I watched from home, it could have gone either way. Longhorns rallied back. Saturday they got after Luke Harrison after the delay. I don't know. I think Schlossnagle was regretting bringing him back after the rain delay because he wasn't the same. His velo was down, and the Aggies were waiting for him, and they made him pay. And once you win those first 2 games, it's all good, whatever happens. And I think that I really think that both teams wanted to play that third game, but lightning kept happening, and you just can't play around with that weather, Lou.
No, not at all. And for the Longhorns, I don't know how important, but I'll just phrase it as really nice bounce back against Alabama.
Yeah, big time bounce back against Bama. Could have gotten the sweep, but bats went silent. But they won all but one series this season, and the Aggie series is probably going to stick in their craw. But I haven't looked at the standings, but last I checked, I think the Aggies are in second behind Georgia, and then the Horns are in third. So it's a great conference. So you're just trying to get a top 8 seed because you just want to be in that mix when it comes down to it for the regionals. So I think both teams are in really good shape. Texas has some bullpen issues it's going to have to figure out, but we'll see these teams in the postseason, and maybe one, maybe two are going to end up in Omaha.
Both teams are putting themselves in super regional hosting type shape. I took a look this week, figured it was getting real. Only 4 series a month left in SEC play. Both are in super regional hosting shape.
Oh, absolutely. The top 8 is crucial, man, and you just want to be able to not have to travel. That's everything. And if you're sleeping in your own bed and dressing in your own clubhouse and eating at your favorite restaurant and going through your regular routine for a home weekend is so much better than jumping on a plane or a bus and going somewhere where you're not going to have as many fans.
No, absolutely. And again, I'll tell you, Aggie Baseball, they lost the Thursday night game to Vanderbilt, and it was an awful loss, and too many things that had haunted them. Taking that doubleheader on Friday, this team has not looked back, man. What they're doing right now is so impressive when you just look at some of the things that worried you, and through the first 2 series, this team, this offense is so elite, and now they're pitching kind of starting to be more than enough for what they have offensively. This Aggie team's kind of gotten scary all of a sudden.
Yeah, and it's the kind of time of the year where you want to be playing some of your best ball, and it seems like this is where it's going for them right now, and they're passing the grade at the midway point. So building momentum is very important, and if you're not building that momentum, you may have problems when it comes to May. So they're getting good pitching from Sadeo. I know he's given up a lot of home runs, but he pitched well against Texas, and you got Weston Moss. They've got depth. They've got offense. They're dangerous from top to bottom, and pitching, defense are very important. But in the summertime, if you're not hitting that baseball, you could be in trouble. And I think the game nowadays, Lou, is largely an offensive game, especially in the SEC.
Is it safe? You said they both look like Omaha. Is that like, you know what I mean? I always say, what's the prediction? What's the high end? Do you see both Omaha as their potential? Like, would you say you see them both in Omaha?
It could happen. You never know. Talent wins, Lou, and these are very talented teams. And if the talent steps up, that's the big question. Texas was thought to be an Omaha-type team last year, and then all of a sudden you look up and they get outplayed by UTSA in their own house. So that is still the game. The numbers are the numbers, and we can look at those numbers. But if you don't perform when those bright lights are on, anybody can get you. No one expected UTSA to come in here and win. And let me tell you something, Lou. That was not a fluke. UTSA was better than Texas that weekend. So those are the kind of things you have to look at. I think that Texas is better equipped for a tournament run because of their pitching. They've got 4 guys that can start in a regional situation. Augie Garrido always told me you got to have at least 4 guys that you can throw out there, and they do. They have Dylan Velanis, they have Luke Harrison, they have Ruger Riojas, and then they have Ben Cozart, who's been a great freshman. So they have 4 guys that they can trot out there, and that takes a lot of pressure off. They have a deep bullpen. Now, there's some guys that haven't pitched as well as anticipated, but there's plenty of time to get that right.
Fair enough. I know for me, I started SEC play going, I think A&M's a 2 seed that can bash their way to a super. And I know I've upgraded to, yeah, this team's super men. Like I think they're super regional men. And again, they put themselves into hosting. And if you're hosting a super, you're an Omaha team. It's the standard definition. It's not even particular to this year's team.
Yeah, you still got to win. But for me, yeah, if you're top 8, I mean, you're expected to be in Omaha, and there are probably 15 really good teams that can make it. But what happens is you've got to do it, and it's easier to me to do it at home than it is in a raucous environment. I've seen when I was the beat writer in 2005, Texas, I think, finished 3rd in the Big 12, but they were a good baseball team, and they had to go to Oxford, Mississippi, to the Super Regional and play a 2 out of 3, and they lost the first game. But then they came back and they beat Ole Miss. And when they got to Omaha, the first question was, "What's your confidence level after winning in such a hostile environment?" And to a man, they said, "Our confidence is very high because we just beat the best team in America." And Ole Miss was really good that year. So it was Stephen Head and Laporta. Those guys are really good. And so it's how you're playing at that time that matters more than anything. How are you playing right now?
Truth.
It's not what you've done all season. It's that little 2-week period. Are you playing close to your best baseball? Because if you're not, Lou, you can get got.
No, it's the truth, because it's just one of those things over the years. My MLB guy, Joe Sheehan, and everything. Baseball is a series. Baseball is done over a weekend. Every player has a bad weekend. Babe Ruth had a bad weekend. Hank Aaron had a bad weekend. Jacob deGrom has a bad weekend. And if your Friday night guy who has that 1.1 ERA happens to give up 3 runs, oh no, on that one weekend, and you lose the first game, and it's the only game. It's just, that's the nature of baseball. It's why baseball's phenomenal, fantastical. If you're a home run hitter that leads all of baseball in home runs, that's the one game he has 3 singles instead. It goes 3 for 3 with 2 walks, but he doesn't hit a home run. And that's what he has to do for your offense to work. Baseball's complex, and people look at baseball as individuals and don't understand how it's interconnected as a team sometimes. Where the players that do those things, they got to do them.
Yeah, so many levels to it. So many levels. And a little bit of drop-off can be the difference between you being in Omaha or you being at the house for the off-season. And that's the game itself. And how many times have you asked, as someone, a baseball player, you ask them, "Hey, what went on with blah, 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 blah?" You ask a Texas guy, how'd you guys go down there and get swept in College Station? And many times they'll just say, "It's baseball." And it's kind of a simplistic answer, but sometimes it's the right answer. And the best team usually wins, Lou, but that's not always the case, and that's why we love sports.
No, absolutely. What's the best team you've seen baseball in the SEC this year?
I watched a little bit of Georgia. They look pretty scary. The home run totals are inflated because they play in a cracker box, but they have a good mix. They have a really good mix. I think A&M is really good. Haven't seen a lot of the other teams because it's just been so busy, Lou, with the basketball stuff, and saw a little bit of Ole Miss on SEC Network the other day, but NBA playoffs were on, so I had to switch over to that.
I was going to say Georgia, too, and that's one of those where I don't want to overdo watching them over one weekend, because like we said, any weekend, that could have been their best weekend of the year, but I just have to stick with the way I phrased that sentence. The best team I've seen this year is Georgia, too. They're the best team I've seen, and I haven't seen them every weekend, and I don't think it's close, too, but they had a great weekend against A&M. Hey, said quick timeout, come back. Let's talk Longhorn spring game and Prince and more.
Yes, sir.
Cedric Golden of the Austin American-Statesman hangs out with us on the D4 Land Services hotline. It's just kind of a Thursday thing, and we talk Longhorns, Aggies, and more. If you ever need your land fixed, land excavated, land cleared, you just need help with your land, go check out D4Landservices.com, D4Landservices.com. This is the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric on the Zone.
You can get the podcasts of Texans Live, The Louis Bellina Show, or Chip Howard at zone1150.com, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.